Hey guys, tonight we're diving into a crusade that's gonna make you question everything you thought you knew about medieval warfare. Forget swords, blood, and battle cries. We're talking about the Sixth Crusade, the one where Jerusalem was reclaimed, without a single fight. Yeah, you heard that right. Dim the lights, grab a snack, and let's ease into this bizarre journey together. Picture this. It's the 13th century, and Christendom's been trying to take back the Holy Land for over 100 years. 5 crusades have come and gone, leaving trails of blood and broken dreams. But the 6th? It's about to flip the script so hard, you'd think it was written by a time-traveling satirist. At the center of this unlikely tale stands Frederick II Hohenstaufen, Holy Roman Emperor, King of Sicily, and a man so out of place in medieval Europe, he might as well have been from another planet. This guy wasn't your typical crusader. No Deus Vult battle cries or shining armor for Frederick. He was more like a philosopher who accidentally stumbled into ruling an empire. Imagine a medieval ruler who spoke Latin, Arabic, Greek, and Hebrew. A guy who'd rather debate science than swing a sword. Frederick kept exotic animals like ostriches in his palace, for crying out loud. In a world of zealots and holy warriors, he was the nerd who somehow ended up leading the jocks. Now, Rome wasn't too thrilled with Frederick's, let's call it unique, approach to being a Christian ruler. Pope Gregory IX had been nagging him to lead a crusade for years. But our boy Frederick? He always had an excuse. Oh, I'm sick. There's a rebellion. Mercury's in retrograde. You name it, he used it. By 1227, Pope Gregory had had enough. When Frederick delayed yet again, claiming a plague was ravaging his troops, which, to be fair, it probably was, Gregory snapped. He excommunicated Frederick faster than you can say heretic, kicked him right out of the church. Game over, right? Wrong. In a twist worthy of a medieval soap opera, Frederick decided to go on crusade anyway. In 1228, he set sail, excommunicated, lacking papal support, and with an army so small, it could have fit on a couple of party buses. This wasn't a crusade. It was a road trip with delusions of grandeur. But here's where it gets really wild. Instead of charging into battle like every crusader before him, Frederick opened talks with Sultan al-Kamil, ruler of Egypt and nephew of the legendary Saladin. 2 leaders, both too smart for their own good, sizing each other up across a negotiating table. See, al-Kamil wasn't some bloodthirsty warlord either. He had his own problems. Family drama, political headaches, the works. In Frederick, he saw a kindred spirit. A man of reason in a world gone mad with religious fervor. And then, the unthinkable happened. For the first time in Crusader history, 2 leaders chose to use their words instead of their swords. On February 18, 1229, they signed the Treaty of Jaffa. Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Nazareth, back in Christian hands. Just like that. No siege, no battle. Not even a strongly worded letter. But wait, there's a twist. The deal came with a condition. Muslims would still control the Al-Aqsa Mosque and be free to worship. It was like a medieval timeshare agreement, but for holy sites. Frederick, being the absolute mad lad he was, strolled into Jerusalem and crowned himself king. Why? Because no bishop or pope would dare crown an excommunicated ruler. It was the medieval equivalent of crashing your ex's wedding and declaring yourself the best man. Back in Rome, Pope Gregory was losing his mind. He rejected the treaty, called Frederick a fraud, an enemy of the church, probably muttered some very un-pope-like words under his breath. But facts were facts. Frederick had succeeded where 5 crusades had failed, and he did it without spilling a drop of blood. Here's the kicker, though. Many Christian nobles hated the deal. Knights loyal to the Pope despised Friedrich. They'd come all this way for a fight, and this guy gives them paperwork instead? It was like showing up to a UFC match and getting a chess tournament. The irony was thick enough to spread on toast. The only crusade that actually won Jerusalem was led by a man the church had kicked out, and it was achieved through talking instead of fighting. It was peace in the Holy Land, and nobody wanted it. Sadly, this moment of sanity didn't last. By 1244, Jerusalem was lost again, this time to some seriously angry Khwarezmian warriors who didn't get the memo about peaceful negotiations. Friedrich's triumph vanished like a mirage in the desert. So there you have it, folks. The Sixth Crusade. Proof that sometimes, just sometimes, logic can beat fanaticism. But as history shows, people weren't quite ready for that yet. They still craved the old standbys: war, blood, and chaos. As we wrap up tonight's journey into this bizarre chapter of history, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of it all. Friedrich II, the excommunicated emperor who won Jerusalem with words, not swords. A man so ahead of his time, he might as well have been from the future. In a world that expected knights in shining armor, he gave them a scholar and a negotiating chair. When they wanted battle cries, he offered peace talks. It was the medieval equivalent of bringing a book to a sword fight, and somehow winning. But perhaps the real lesson here isn't about Friedrich or Al-Kamil, or even the Holy Land. It's about us, about human nature. We had a taste of what peace could look like, even in the most unlikely of times and places. And we rejected it, craving the familiar comfort of conflict. As you drift off to sleep tonight, ponder this. What if we'd embraced Friedrich's way? What if diplomacy had trumped warfare? How different might our world be today? But hey, that's a heavy thought for another time. For now, let the soft hum of your fan or the snoring of your pet lull you to sleep, much like those medieval peasants dozed off to the sound of livestock in the next stall. And remember, in a world that often seems to crave chaos, sometimes the bravest thing you can do is choose peace, even if no one else understands why. Sweet dreams, history buffs. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and maybe, just maybe, try solving your next argument with words instead of swords. You never know. You might just win a Jerusalem of your own.